Hi, this is Leah Klein, health and wholeness coach. And today my question for you is, are you spending time in God's word? Our verse is Proverbs 6:23. For the commandment is a lamp, and the teaching a light, and the reproofs of discipline are the way of life. So why do we want to, spend, one of the reasons that we want to spend time in God's word, it is a light to us. It is one of the ways that God's light is shown to us, and it shines into our lives in ways that show us directions to go, convicts us of things that we shouldn't be doing, and also just connects us with God and gives us a picture of who God is and how big He is. And if we're not spending that time in His Word, we're missing that. We're, just getting the little snippet version and not getting the full picture. This is an area that is been a personal annoyance, bugaboo, whatever word you want to call it, with many churches. Not that we've attended over the years generally, but is being around people that have been in churches that they don't know their Bible. And it's like, are they preaching from the Bible? Two, are you getting into the word in other ways? Are you going to Bible study? Are you doing personal devotions, quiet time? Any of these things that help you learn more and get that base of knowledge and history of the Bible that is just critical to your Christian life. It's the basis from which you can say, okay, if God did this for Israel in this particular situation, He can do this for me. If it is His will, of course. And the more we are in His Word and closer to Him, the more likely we are to be attuned to His Word, to be doing what He wants us to do in the first place. But it was a foreign concept for me when I was around people that didn't have that background. I'm going, what? What? Where? It's like that was just a foreign concept to me. My background was such that it's like I was home taught growing up by my parents because they wanted me to learn about the Bible and things like that, and not some of the other crazy crap that was being taught in schools. That was a very, very long time ago. It doesn't even come close to what's being taught in the schools now. But so my everyday education was about the Bible and about God's word. And so it's like I was learning that for a very young age. And mind you, I was probably 30 or so before I read through the Bible the first time all the way through. So I've been there. I do get that you can know a lot of this stuff, but not necessarily have made it a daily practice in your life. A practice that is renewing your mind and just putting all those memories in there so that you can draw on them and you can have an idea of where something is. Admittedly, we don't all know chapter and verse on things, and I don't know a chapter and verse on everything, but lots of times you have a general ballpark at least of where a particular verse is at when somebody quotes it, and you can go, oh, that I can go back and find that one because that was good. I want to remember that. I want to write that down for future reference. So back to our word being light. Besides that, how part of how it's being that light is that it is teaching us, it is reproofing, or correcting would be another way of putting that. That light is shining into our lives through his word in a way that just shows us the darkness that is there, that cannot stand in the presence of that light. And it also shows us the way to live our lives, what God's standard is. Not that that will save us, only Jesus saves us, but we as we get closer to God, more like Christ, we want to do what will please him. And by doing what will please him, we are happy and God is happy. And so there is a mutually beneficial arrangement to actually doing things the way it says, in the Bible, following, the wisdom that is given there, and the do this, don't do this, and all those things. They have benefit to our lives, as most of you know, is because that is how we have a healthy functioning society, is by following that. And we can get off on a whole rabbit trail of how it might not be functioning at the moment due to that not being the case entirely. But remember that whatever is going on in our world around us, God's word stays the same. And people might try to change the wording, and try to change what it says, which is why I generally try to go with a literal translation in what I use in my daily life, to avoid getting further away from what it originally actually said. But it is a standard, it is a basis, a foundation on which you can build your life, that is not all over the place like the current standards are. So I want to encourage you, pray, ask God to show you his light as you read his word. Ask him to show himself to you while you're doing it. That is one of the things he's promised. If we seek him, we will find him, when we seek him with all our hearts. And one of the ways, obviously, you can do that, and one of my favorites, is going on a personal retreat. Now, obviously, you can't do that every single day. That's where quiet time, Bible studies, and other things come into play. But I do like to do it, at least once a month for a few hours. Spend time one-on-one with God in his creation. And as I've mentioned in the last video, we do have another guided in-person retreat, ladies only, here in Arizona, in the Pinedale, Arizona area where I live. Here it's going to be July 14th through the 16th. And I will have a link to a brochure on the page, at the Facebook group, or I'll try to post that with the video on YouTube, so that if you're watching it there, you also have access. But anyway, reach out to me, check out the brochure. There's only a few spots, so it's first come, first serve, obviously. And you also need to connect and actually talk with me about whether this is appropriate for you, and whether this is going to be really good for where you're at, which generally I would say yes to. But To wrap up our time, I want to sing Thy Word, taken from Psalm 119, but it's very, very close to this passage as far as what it's saying. And many of you probably know this, so feel free to sing along if you do. If not, feel free to just listen. Thy word is a lamp unto my feet and a light unto my path. Thy word is a lamp unto my feet and a light unto my path. When I feel afraid and think I've lost my way, still you're there right beside me. Nothing will I fear as long as you are here. Please be near me to the end. Thy word is a lamp unto my feet and a light unto my path. And I will see you next week with another verse. See you then.